This short video will show how to use the new Scripthelper functionality built inside StarDraw Control. So what is the Scripthelper functionality and what does it do for us? Well, the Scripthelper is a new class that can be instantiated from within any script on any form. It then allows you to access any other script in any port, in any device that's been defined in the topology view. So now you have a linkage between the form being able to call the devices in your topology view directly. So let's see how this works. We'll start a new project and we'll just drag on a very simple device, let's say the Anthem D1 surround sound processor. And it's got a serial port, we're connected to COM1. First of all, if we notice the name of it, it's D1 space open bracket 1 close bracket, which you can change up here. If we double click on it, we'll see it's got one port and the name of it is serial. And if we edit it, we'll see the script is actually a class called myClass and has several methods and properties. Here's one method called volume up, another one called volume down, and it also has a property called volume that takes the type float. So how do we go and call this from within a script on a form? Well, if we nip over to the Forms Designer, drag on a script, and then edit that script, we can see it's got your standard boilerplate template comments. We'll delete most of these, just to make it very clear what we're doing. And we'll delete this, and we'll leave the do something functionality there. And to call the Scripthelper, first of all we'll go and define a private member variable of type Scripthelper, and we'll go and call it helper, and we'll instantiate it to be a new Scripthelper, open bracket, close bracket, semicolon. So that's it declared and used and instantiated. So now we wish to call it. Well, the functions of the Scripthelper, there's really four main ones that are very useful. The first is you can find any port instance given the device name, the port name and the class name. You can go and set any property on the port, given that port instance, the name of the property and the value that you want to set for that property. You can also go and get the port property, again given the port instance and the property name, and it returns an object. You can also go and execute any method on the port, again by giving it the port instance, the method name, and then any number of parameters that port method wishes to take. So let's go and use this. We'll delete that line. First thing we need to go and do is find the port instance. So we'll declare a member variable here, and we'll say helper.find port instance, and this requires the device name, which if you remember was D1 space open bracket 1 close bracket, the port name which was serial, and the class name which was myClass. So that should have found the port instance. And now we wish to go and execute a port method, and we'll try and do volume up. So we say helper dot execute port method, and it wants the port instance and the method name, which we'll call volume up, and it doesn't take any parameters, so I'll just put in null here. Great. Well, let's see if that works. We should be able to see on the debugger the correct serial information being set out. We'll also require a button, very simple, just to go and call the script. So we'll say script1 do something, and let's go and run it. You can see the dialog boxes come up. I'll just run that one more time so we can make sure we've got the correct debugging information. There we go, the COM port's been opened. And now when I go and click on button 1, we'll actually see it's executed the script and sent out that correct command for volume up. So wonderful. Let's see if we can go and execute a few more things on the Scripthelper while we're here. let's go and set property helper.execute set port property. I can type, and we want the port instance again, and we want to go and call the volume property, and we're going to pass in a value of 12. And at the same time here, we'll go and get the port property as well. So helper.get port property, again of the port instance of the volume property, and it actually returns a float of type, call it volume, and we have to go and cast it to be a float because the get port property doesn't know what type it's going to return. Now, there's one other function on the script helper that can be useful, and that's to log. So we'll just say we're going to call the logger, and we're going to dump out some debug information of new volume equals, and we'll just do volume.toString. Great, so now we found the port instance, execute the volume up method, set the volume property, got the volume property, and actually logged it out to the screen. So let's see if that works. We'll go and run this, and move this out of the way, and when we click on button 1, there we can see it's going to set out the value 12 there correctly. And you can see here that there is the script helper actually logging out that the new volume equals 12. So everything seems to be working fine there. If we close this down, again, those are just the functions, and together with the ability to access controls within the script, you can now put all your initialization code in there, or rather than adding hundreds of actions to go and set up your system, you can do this programmatically inside the script to go and access, again, any port and any method or property on that port of any device that's been defined in your topology view.